Truly, if you want to ensure that access happens for all children, as an American citizen, you have an obligation to do nothing but share your concerns about failed services, especially if you're a recent graduate and have become, a recent voter and your experience has been negative, or your experience didn't benefit you in the way that it benefited other children. Please share, as that's the entitlement and the responsibility to critique and manage public services. I am not one to be hushed. In 2021, as an American, the obligation is for me to share my knowledge. And, it's not a money kind of thing, it's not monetary. It really is that each one reach one, teach one, because I can't save your child unless you're willing to understand that you first need to understand how far they've come. And then you can push forward. But you can't go forward unless you understand exactly where you are. And when I ask a lot of people where their kids are, then they get offended. Because below basic means that your child stopped learning a long time ago. And it's unfortunate that you didn't understand that that was what it meant. So where do they go from there? If they're not at grade level in the 8th grade, and that's where you need to talk about the dual vocational educational program that we need to create, because JAR is getting ready to have a lot of control over the money that's coming to the schools where the children are failing and where our voices have never been heard. So let's just make them be heard in 2021. Don't get overzealous about that failing them for them failing to implement SB 543. That was done in 2012, in 2015, written, and the responsibility to ensure that all children had access to services was Clark County's. And when they didn't, it was the state of Nevada's actually, but when they didn't ensure that access was created for you and they created more harbor programs, well, that's just where they thought you should be. And then you joined in. Unfortunate, all children can learn. And behavior is just a modification of behavior. Regardless of what service it is, it's supposed to benefit. And it's not benefiting people who look like me. So I would encourage you, educate yourself in 2021. Don't get on the boat about trying to save the victory in Zoom schools, as the SB, whatever that 178, whatever those schools, they didn't do anything for you. Or the other legislative services that were written as to create access didn't help, because they're not following the federal regulations in Nevada. And that's where you get your power from the federal government. They offer you the free and appropriate public education and what it looks like too. So in 2021, just know it's you, boo. It's nobody but you. And if your child's not making it, then you need to be concerned. So until you see me again, like, subscribe, and follow. This was a long one, but it had so much information. Didn't you see all the things that Nevada failed to do? But what was the consequence? And I'll tell you, in a We the People state, the voters are the ones that are controlling what's happening. And in the 1800s, well, I don't believe that we were voting. We didn't come into the picture, boo, until 1964. So I don't see a lot of amendments to creating access after Brown versus the Board of Education and for the last 155 years. So wake up. We are here and we will be recognized. Until you see me again, like, subscribe, follow me. I'm on Anchor, I'm on YouTube, I'm on wherever I can be, but I just got to empower you so that you know it's you. You're the one you're looking for. It was such a blessing to hear my son said that he was conquering his challenges, because, we have a lot of fear of what we don't know, and trauma from what's happened. We should be a traumatized people. Anytime you understand, as you're a young African American male, that someone can pull you over and take your life because they had a bad day, and there be no consequences. Here we are discussing someone leaning on someone's neck for 8 minutes and 49 seconds. What was that? Almost 9 minutes of the inability to get air into your system, then to haul him off in an ambulance like he was still living. Everybody there in the crowd was saying, "You're killing him. What are you doing? And why are you doing it?" I mean, it was a call for a suspected $20 bill. I mean, a counterfeit bill. Well, how was he to know if somebody passed it to him? Or I don't think it was something that he was aware of. And it was only $20 anyway. And it was from an age a native was from an American immigrant, I'm sure, because he said he wouldn't have done it had he known it was going to cause all this trouble. Yes, that is exactly what they do. Look at the videos created by the young people on the internet, on YouTube, called Karen. And our babies can identify what a Karen is. Or for somebody who's screaming, I mean, the reason that Devontae Clark lost his life was because someone made an allegation that he was breaking into cars on a street where his grandmother lived. And believe me, they knew who the kid was when they made the allegation, as it was probably a neighbor just across the street. But that boy's life was lost. And everybody on that street probably had insurance. You know, we have homeowners insurance. You know, my stereo got broken out of my car. And, you know, I'm just going to say my insurance paid for it because I pay insurance because I know that there are people out there that are hungry. And I can't ensure that my property will be protected as I'm not watching it. But, you know, now they have Ring doorbells. They have, you know, cameras outside. And believe it or not, they see everything. And when somebody can make a comment about you needing to go and do some household chores because they can see that your house is cluttered, well, where are they seeing it from? That's just what I want to know, boo. Because, see, these programs do blur the background, but somebody might have the ability to unblur it too. And it really doesn't matter. Because what goes on in your house is your business, boo. Got me? Just a simple clue. But they have made it their business. And so let's not pretend we don't understand the blue light on the devices that now you don't even have to have a device. Because your mere device is your big screen TV that does digital transmission, just like I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to be talking all over the world. And merely the ability to advocate for oneself is the knowledge that's within your head. The ability to advocate for oneself is the journey that you've been provided, really, because in the universe, we're all uniquely qualified by just based on what we were willing to do as the challenge and the journey is before us all. And every day it's new. And every day you have to be willing to stand up. And every day you have to understand that if you were willing to follow through and got the lessons, well, then you have the skills and ability to take on the challenge. I am uniquely positioned to take on the challenge, to move forward in life simply because my children, I've given them the skills to understand they have foundational data. I mean, you know, they just have foundational skills and they understand how to, you know, monitor their dollars and understanding that they have to read the rules because the rules apply to everyone, including you. And if you understand the rules, you have the right to advocate for yourself. But if you don't understand the rules, then no advocacy is existing. And I'm just trying to understand. Clark County gave themselves a lot of rights to create different educational programs. And, you know, that's supposed to be encouraged. But when you create programs that uniquely only go one way, lead to expulsion, as the collection of data and the demonstration of the maintenance of the inability of unqualified staff to document children and their behavior, and not only legislators writing bills to support individual principals and teachers, as those teachers help to write the bills that do not fit the requirements under public education or do not even fit the intent. And as you can see earlier in the video, all of the federal laws that were implemented and passed in our lifetime, and nothing has been changed in the state of Nevada. I'm sorry. People are getting paid and they're not fulfilling their obligation. And that means that perhaps you don't need to be dependent on those people, and you can work within an organization and create your own, because the flexibility right now Jara has in the federal money means there's free money for him and everybody who can claim it. Don't let them claim yours, boo. That's what I'm saying. Can't claim it. America, the obligation is to ensure access, and the responsibility is on your honor and lack of honor and lack of accountability. And Nevada has demonstrated that it doesn't have the ability to hire qualified staff that are not political. 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 There is some kind of something that's being sponsored by the Nevada Department of Education that talks about creating a whole new educational system and getting legislatures to sponsor it. And that sounds like lobbying to me. That sounds like personal to me. And that don't sound like what my tax dollars should be paying for to me. So it was important to do this video because you have to like, subscribe, and share, and really get the word out there that it is us and it is our voices that are lacking, and it's time to step up, level up in 2021. That's what I say. So until we meet again, this is Darlene Anderson. Like, subscribe, and follow.